Test. 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you hear me now? You like mixing? Don't like mixing. What's your favorite? Why is it you like it? Testing 1, 2, 3.
Let's go. Yeah, you were talking the big time, Mr. Chuck.
Welcome to Oconee County Board of Commissioners meeting. Today is Tuesday, March 26, 2024. After a moment of silence, we're going to ask Daniel Haygood to lead us in the pledge. Please stand. Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first item of business will be to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Second. We have a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next item is any statements or remarks from citizens. This is for anything not on tonight's agenda. Any statements or remarks from citizens? Commissioners? That's- Remind everybody the town hall meeting on April the 16th here in this room at 6 o'clock. Next item is, we have, Ms. Valerie Bell from the Athens Regional Library here to give us an update on the library. So come on up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me here. There's just a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. One, if you have not been to the new Oconee County Library at Wire Park, please do go because it is a state-of-the-art library. One of my favorite places is the creative space, so make sure you get in there. It has all the latest technology equipment, all for the residents of Oconee County. The other thing I wanted to just share with you is that the Athens Regional Library System, I passed out, I hope you have a little something that I passed out. The Athens Regional Library System, through our materials funding through the state, we've been able to get something called Hoopla. And Hoopla is a streaming service that we can offer to our residents across the region. That streaming service includes books, DVDs, music, all kinds of things that you can actually listen to right away. It's almost immediate that you can get them. So that's one of our new, it's been very, very, very popular. So if you haven't taken a look at it, I hope you do. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is that I know that we consider our libraries, the Athens Regional Library, we consider our libraries as vital parts of the community. We listen to the community, and what the community has to say is important to us. And so recently, we have heard from our community that there's they would like for us to offer them some guidance and some help as they choose materials for their children. So I'll start out by saying that children 10 and under are not allowed in the library by policy without an adult, a caregiver, or an older sibling, 16 years old or something like that. And so that child in 10 and under should not be able to take home or pick out books that have not already been approved by someone that is older, caregiver, or a parent. The other thing, because we do understand the concerns that some of our residents have, is that we took a two-prong approach to this. The first thing that we're going to do is make a separate section. It's still in the YA, the young adult section of the library, but it'll be in a separate area of the young adult section. And those books are going to be what we call middle grade books. And those are going to be for students, I believe it's 6th to 8th grade, and 14 is the top. of it. So those students, what we've done is, and we passed around some books that we probably need to get back, but just so, but just so you can see that those books are clearly marked middle grade. So when and if a young adult, a child over the age of 10 comes into the library and picks out their books without their parent will be able to look at the book and see if they choose that they just want their children to read middle grade books, then they'll be able to see easily and clearly and quickly what it is that their child has checked out of the library. So that is the first prong of our change. The second one is that we also have a finding map for parents that we're going to have available at all of our libraries. We started with 3. The Wire Park was one, Oglethorpe County was another one, and Madison County was another one. So they're all set up, and then the rest of the region we believe is going to be done by the end of this month. As far as having a middle book collection. This is a finding guide, and it's available as a flyer, and it will be available in posters at the library for parents to pick up, and this will give them another way to check it, what their child is reading, and if what they're reading fits in with their own personal values as a family. And so it's a list of various reviews and there's a QR code by it. So all they have to do is hit the QR code. The website will come up and they'll be able to type in the name of the book and get a review of the book to see if it's something that fits in with their personal family values. I think that those 2 approaches are very, I hope that they're going to be welcome in the community. I think that they are positive steps for us to take with the community. And that's what we're going to do. We also I have in the packet for you our request for reconsideration process. As I said, all of us are members of the community. We believe that the library is a vital part of the community. We want to hear from our residents. So we do have a robust request for reconsideration process. And this graphic that I'm handing out to you today is an example, or it is the graphic that we give to people when they say that they want to put in a request for reconsideration for our materials. And we give it to them when they bring back the request for reconsideration of the material. And then it goes through this is the process that the materials go through. It's a rather lengthy process. We take it all very seriously, including what the patrons have to say about the book. So I, again, just want to thank you all for allowing me to speak. I hope you visit the library, and if I can answer any questions, I'd be more than happy to do that.
Have any questions?
Okay. There's so much has been said about the younger children. Do you have an idea how many children can't enter the library that would be in that, I would assume that they've got to be 16 or older to get in by themselves?
They have to be over 10.
They have to be over 10 to
Right.
get into the library.
Yes.
Do you
So
have-
11.
All right, is that by themselves?
They can come into the library at the age of 11 by themselves. Yes.
Do you have many across the region, your region that does?
It probably depends on where the library is. If it's walking distance, then, like Lay Park or Aaron Hurd, those are in kind of neighborhoods. So students can walk there. But many of the libraries are not really walkable for a young person to walk by themselves like that to the library. That's what I would say. I don't have any statistics or data on that.
I was just curious, because so much has been said about, these young children not being accessible to the books. But I've got to thinking, how many of them actually go in, that are of that age, 11, that would be by themselves looking through the racks anyway.
I can't imagine that it would be very many, but I don't have any data on that. But
you
as
don't-
I said, 10 and under, they have to have somebody with them.
So I'm guessing too, I'm trying to cover all the bases on it. I'm guessing the librarians, the staff would not have to return, tell a young person they can't come. You don't get many of those cases.
No, no. If they're 11 and over, they're pretty good. About they can be in the library. If they're 10 and under, a librarian may ask where their
But
parent or
you
guardian
wouldn't,
is.
your folks wouldn't see many of those, period. Yeah.
I don't think so. I know that James is here.
I think maybe last year, maybe 2 or 3 times total, we had someone younger than that. I had to reach out to a parent to let them know the policy and to come get the child. So,
That's all I need. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
So to follow up on that, just because, and this may be a simple question, but at age 11, they have their own library card, but under 10 and under, they don't have their own library card?
Oh, no, they can get a library card, but their parents have to sign for them. They can get a library card at any age,
Okay.
from 0 to, 120 or whatever. They can certainly have a library card, but their parent has to sign for them, or if they're part of the play card, then the parent can opt out of them using that service that we have. It's really all about, trying to give young people a love of literature and a love of books and the love of reading and lifelong learning. We do understand and commiserate with parents. I know it's hard. I'm not a parent, but I can tell, I know it's hard. I have nieces and nephews. So I think that this is a way, what we have come up with is a really good way for parents to look. I mean, some parents are fine with whatever their child brings home to read. Other parents want to be more, want to have their children reading books that are more fit for their personal family values. And I think that is what will be helpful with this middle grade and with this review process, that parents can just get on, read a quick review, say yes or no. That's up to them. We're not the parent. And if the answer is no, then they can take the book. We're not the parent. That would be up to them.
I do have a follow-up question. What would trigger, I've got, most of my grandkids are pretty good size. They're, my 10-year-old granddaughter stands up with the 13-year-olds. But and the reason I'm asking you this, these are the kind of questions, if people are concerned about young people seeing a book they shouldn't see, but if we're not having a lot of those issues, somebody coming in, they may look 12, but they're 10. Is there any kind of something or a mark or whatever that would trigger you to check that child?
You know what? I can say no. There's nothing like, there's no height requirement or anything like that. But what I can say is that our librarians are very skilled and knowledgeable and they know a lot of these kids. They know them by name, they know their parents, especially the younger ones. I know our children's librarian is also here. She can wave and they know the kids. And they often know their parents. And so they probably have a pretty good idea about what their age range is. And the other thing is that the library, the best people to help parents pick out what they want, what they deem as appropriate for their family for books is to just ask one of our librarians. They'll be more than happy to help them find something that is appropriate for their family.
And I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've got a question. We had a list of books that was presented to us, and then one of those books was then reclassified to the adult section. So if a kid comes into the library, then if they requested the book or a book that was in the adult section, it would have to have parental approval before they could get the book and check it out.
I don't know. If I'm understanding you, if a child comes in over the age of 10, is that
Right.
what you're saying? And they
Right.
check out a book, a YA book, a young adult book. No, there's nothing to stop them. There was nothing for us to stop them from doing it, which is why we put the middle grade sticker on so that parents, when the child brings that book home,
Mhm.
the parents can look and see if they just want to casually look and say, even if they tell their child, we only want you to take out middle grade books, then, they can look at the books that their child has taken out and say, okay, these are, or if they want to go a step further, they can actually read a review of the book. And we've got the finding aids for them to be able to do that.
Mhm. Okay. So do you think there, in the future, maybe some checks that the parents would, if, say, a parent was very concerned about some of the books that their children might be looking at, do you think that there might be some protocols that the parents would have to approve that book before the child could even take it out of the library?
That's up to the parent. Would we make those protocols
Mhm.
on the children? No. That would be up to the parent to do. We can't say who can take out what book. We just don't know what their family values are. The parent is the one that knows what their family values are. And so if that's what their family values are, then we're just trying to give them tools and aids to make sure that they're getting that service from us. Some parents believe that their children should be able to read anything that they want. And so we don't want to put limitations on them. The library serves a very diverse group of people who have, very, very different family values. And so that's why we came up with this idea, because access to those materials should be available for the people who want them. And, if they don't want them, then, there's a sticker and there's a review. And even if the book doesn't have a sticker, if it's just a regular YA book, I mean, we really encompassed this. So even if it's a YA book and it doesn't have a sticker, the parent can still read the review and say yes, or no. But
Okay.
that's their decision to make, not ours.
Yeah. So can the parent put restrictions on what books that the children can check out?
Not from us. We don't have that capability with our Pine system. No.
Okay.
But they can look at them and say and they can review them themselves
Yeah.
and say that this is for us, or no, we don't believe in this, so you
Mhm.
can't read it.
Any other questions?
Please come and visit the library. And go to the creative space. That's my favorite spot.
So I do want to say thank you to Mark and Valerie both for being accessible during all the controversy that's come up. So they've been very responsive and coming to meet whenever we needed to meet and trying to find solutions to everything. As well as the rest of the library board that been through some pretty tough meetings and taking the time to read all these books. So we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item is to discuss the hazard mitigation plan update. Seems like we just did this.
It feels like we did. Good evening, Commissioners. Before you is a proposal to update our hazard mitigation plan. That's a 5-year plan that expires next year. This plan addresses natural and man-made hazards and some of the mitigation efforts that we can put forth in order to minimize the impact. One example that you might can think of, and we spoke about it a good bit, was the generators at fire stations and the senior center. By participating in the plan process, a significant portion of those assets were funded through the federal government. So that was a great impact for Oconee County. So the same firm that updated our plan in 2018 has put forth a proposal to do so. We recommend enlisting the services of Lux Mitigation and Planning Corporation. It's $28,800 outlay, which should be with in-kind labor anticipated zero impact upon complete reimbursement. So what we're asking for is that budget amendment for the life of the project up to the approved contract amount provided by Lux Mitigation and Planning Corporation.
Any questions on this item?
One other thing, the part of this involves the public meetings, and I will echo what she said. We looked at the library to do those, and that is a beautiful facility. So we hope to be able to use it. Very good. Thank you.
You're all right for consent agenda?
Yes, sir.
Do we have any public comment on this item? Thank you. Next item is discuss additional FY24 funding for law enforcement equipment. Listen.
Thank you. I am here this evening to request necessary budget amendments for the following items for the requested amounts for the life of the project through completion. The items are related to law enforcement requests. The first being a bulk purchase of computers that are in need of upgrade in the amount of $35,000. Second item, specialized gear for a special resource team in the amount of $61,000. And also,
Excuse me, what team was it?
it's a special resources team. It's a team considers.
Oh, that's good enough. That's all.
Got it, okay. And an HVAC monitoring system, an expansion of an existing project that's currently occurring. This would allow us to expand that project over to the EOC building and to the cell towers for E911. And that is in the amount of $60,000. So total of those items is $156,000. And we would like for those items to amend in the FY24 budget so that we can proceed with those. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions from Melissa? No. Ms. Bear, all right for consent agenda? Any public comment? Next item is discuss the OVP tennis court expansion project.
Good evening. The OVP Tennis Court Expansion Project is an approved 2021 SPLOST project. The initial phase of the OVP Park back in 2008 only included a portion of those tennis court construction. Professional services that we're asking for tonight include the civil, mechanical engineering, and structural designs, which not only include the additional tennis courts, but also the court lighting, the conversion of the existing tennis courts lighting to LED lighting, since we are no longer able to warranty those lights. Restroom facilities, grading, drainage, hardscapes, which will include all the parking lot lights and pathways. It also, in addition, includes services such as utility locate, water and sewer utility plan, and stormwater management, which also joins us into the retention pond portion of that part of the park. Completion of this project will allow the Herman C. Michael tennis courts to then be converted into pickleball courts. So we recommend a budget amendment for the life of the project to cover the professional service costs from SPOS 2021. W&A Engineering Professional Services total would be 202,888, 202,880.
Any questions for Lisa on this item?
Please just remind me, was it gonna be after the senior center or after the?
So there will be courts between the senior center and the courts, as well as on the other side between the pond and the tennis courts. And there also, the parking will kind of curve around between that pond and the lower parts of the sports as well, to add the additional parking.
Make sure I understand too, Lisa, the contractor you're presenting tonight, that also includes, I read, it says construction administration support.
Correct.
Does that mean you put this out to bid to a construction company?
Yes, sir. So they'll provide the specifications for us in order to put this out for an RFP, for instance, or invitation to bid, whichever's. And then it'll also provide the support as we go to those construction meetings. When it comes time for review of any payment that goes through that, that's included as part of that administration.
They'll take us A to Z
Yes, sir.
as far as the support. They just won't actually go out there and build a tennis court. We'll have to get a
Correct.
contract.
Correct.
Any other questions? You all right for consent? Okay. Any public comment? We do have need to executive session to discuss personnel.
Make a motion, we go into executive session, discuss personnel matters.
Second. Motion is second, all in favor? Thank you, motion carries.
Make the motion, we come back into regular session.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Commissioner Saxon,
Motion adjourned.
we are adjourned.